up to the minute. Please make sure you trust us, and we'll bring you that detailed coverage. You remember, as always, we've been in the communities with Community Manifesto and now the Women's Manifesto. In the run-up to this election, we're discussing all the issues, getting the latest soundbite, and then speaking to the key stakeholders, not only politically, but also those in industry, civil society, and the various spheres of our society. That's it. It also means that we have to remind you that we have cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. And so what you need to do is to make sure that you build up to that mega jackpot that will be held when we are talking about the draws on Friday. Over the last 6 weeks, this is what we've been doing, giving in excess 50,000 Ghana cedis to many of you, especially those Fridays. And so we build up to that Friday mega jackpot by also making sure that with *439# for today, you choose option 2, which is TV3, because you're watching TV3 New Day. And as always, please make sure that you increase in multiple times the number of tickets per what the prompt will give you. And so when you do that, when we do the draws, you're going to win in excess over 1,000, 2,000 Ghana cedis for each of the draws during the weekdays. And then also on Friday, you win that big mega jackpot as it is. Well, for those who have joined us this morning, we're grateful. And so please make sure you share the stream. Now, 18 days to that major election, we want to really examine the energy industry and then also the industry that's looking at how we're able to transition when it comes to the sort of generation that we need. We need a mix, or the world is going green, or we're depleting our forests, we're having vegetative cover destroyed, or we're doing some replenishing by way of the policy implementation, planting trees, etc. In the midst of this, we have to ask civil society as well as those within the sector what they think about the options that are being offered by the various key stakeholders in the game of politics, what they are selling to us. The political parties will delve into their manifestos and they have some great conversation. Regulars will be with us in the studio. Joining us on Zoom very soon will be Nana Mwesi, the 7th Executive Director for the Institute for Energy Security. But right here in the studio, leads policy advocacy, its implementation, etc. On the civil society side, Dr. Steve Mantia is in the studio. He's the chairperson for the CSO's Alliance for Political Manifestos. Good morning to you, Dr. Mantial.
Good morning.
It's not easy to have you in the studio.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah, certainly. So we're grateful. Dr. Charles Jemfiofori is a policy lead for the Africa Center for Energy Policy. He is in charge as policy lead for climate change and energy transition. Good morning to you, Dr. Ofori.
Good morning.
Great. Nice to have you once again. Dr. Steve Mantia, let me just go straight to you. If you do a cursory analysis of what the manifesto propositions are from the political parties, what is there for us when it comes to the energy sector?
Well, thank you very much. I think both the two major parties do recognize the near crisis situation in which we find ourselves as a country. And they've all made pledges to kind of deal with the situation. But what strikes me is the proposition that I consider overly ambitious from the NPP, which is to add some 2,000 megawatts of renewable energy to our energy mix. Reason I find it overly ambitious is the fact that currently our peak demand is around between 3,300 and 3,800 thereabout. And so to promise to scale up renewable component of the mix, energy mix by 2,000 megawatts suggests to me that we are going to be generating much more from renewables than we do currently from fossil fuels.
You mean to make that projection? That's what it means.
Yeah, that's
what
Practically,
it means. How would it look like to generate 2,000 megawatts?
I find it overly ambitious because, one, currently we're doing about 1% renewables generation in our energy mix. So, and the NPP had promised earlier to actually increase this to 10%. As we speak, we are nowhere near the 10%. We are around 1.52%. So for you to project that you're going to move from 1%, and by adding more than 60% of renewable energy to the current energy mix, sounds a near impossibility.